This is a very interesting idea about how the brain learns. The more you know, the more you can know.
Bilingualism, or more generally, multilingualism, is the phenomenon of speaking and understanding two or more languages. Monolingualism is defined as knowing or able to use only one language, also known as monoglot. In 1960s, bilingualism is considered as handicap that slows a child's development, as children spend too much energy distinguishing between languages. But this is based on largely flawed studies.
Bilingual's brain develops differently than a monolingual's brain. Bilinguals' denser gray matter broadcast area in the left hemisphere is slightly larger, more neural connection.
Yeah. Oh, and then do you know that our brain, this is the size of our heart, right? You don't know, right?
I know.
And then this is the size of our brain.
Oh, really?
Yeah, look at.
Why is my brain so small?
I don't know why is your brain so small.
Oh my god, I cannot believe this.
You are wrong. The size of the brain doesn't have any relation to being a multilingual.
Mrs. TRACEY TOKUHAMA-ESPINOSA, a professor at Harvard University's Extension School, said,
Their brains are about the same size. Everybody's brain, there's no difference in the size of the brain. What is very different are the connections that are made between different parts of the brain. So there are more neural connections. The networking is much more complicated, but the brain is not bigger. The weight or the size of a brain is much more correlated to your body size. Small people have smaller brains, but it doesn't mean that they don't have more connections, right? So it doesn't have anything to do with the size of the brain. It has to do with the connections.
According to Mrs. Tokuhama, there are three types of bilinguals.
Somebody is brought up bilingual from birth. Most people don't become bilingual from birth. Most people learn it in context of their communities or in their schools.
There are three types of bilingual. The first one is coordinate, the second, compound, and the third one, subordinate. The first one is coordinate. They learn the languages separately, in separate environments, and maintain this separation after mastering both. The second type of bilingual is compound. They learn the languages in the same environment and context, and they are often used concurrently or even interchangeably. Subordinate. They are proficient in mother tongue and can speak other languages, but not with great proficiency as the main language. The differences in density of gray matter between bilinguals and monolinguals. Bilinguals have denser gray matter, while monolinguals have less dense gray matter. So why does this matter?
So the gray matter is the nucleus, is the cell body. And from that, you have the dendrites that will come out, right? And from there, you can have white matter where you have connections between the bodies. So because of the stimulus, you create the potential that can then link to other things, right? So you would have this increase in the dendritic body of the cells, so you can see the gray matter.
In a different interview, we asked Madam FAIRUZ, a multilingual who can speak 4 languages, about her experience as a multilingual.
First, the fact that I speak a few languages somehow makes me think and react faster on any situation happen around me. This become like a norm when we tend to assimilate others' culture during the learning process of different languages. And we discovered many experiences and challenges throughout the learning. So it makes multilingual stronger mentally, and indeed we are ready to face new challenges every day and be able to adapt with the situation when needed compared to monolingual.
As a bilingual, have you ever wondered if being one actually helps you in your studies?
I'm currently working as a French language teacher in a secondary school. First, to teach French to the students whom their mother tongue is Malay is quite challenging, I could say. Actually, if their proficiency in English is quite good, it will help them, it will help the students certainly to acquire better the language. Honestly, I can't avoid to use Malay language or English language every time I got to explain further about any topics in class. Sometimes when I explain in Malay or English, I could see the students understand more rather than I use fully French in class.
We have interviewed another multilingual, Amy, who can speak 4 languages too. We asked her about her opinions on the benefits of being a multilingual.
Is that I can comfortably converse with my Chinese friends, and that's like if me being a Malay that can speak Mandarin, it makes them more comfortable. Like I used to have like a group of Chinese friends with me, the only Malay in there, and I can just get close to them easily rather than rather compared to the others that can't speak Mandarin. So yeah, so that's kind of a great advantage to me, like living in a society filled with multiracial.
Whereas here's a clip of Mrs. Tokuhama's opinions on benefits of being a multilingual.
For cognitive reasons, for the benefits to cognition, for your brain, for greater executive functions, even knowing one additional language is beneficial. So I would highly recommend that people have at least bilingualism and hopefully even more languages. But as a necessity, we know that it's not necessary, but it's very beneficial.
In conclusion, the brain develops differently between monolingual and multilingual. In our research, we came across a lot of advantages in being a multilingual. However, we could not find any researches on benefits of monolingual or disadvantages of multilingual. Therefore, we would like to suggest a research to be done on these topics. And now we have reached the end of the video. Thank you for watching.